You know what they say. It's all fun and games until someone pokes an eye out. That's just one of the many things they say. I'm not feeling like, hey, look at me. I'm extremely enthusiastic about streaming. I mean, Bert. I don't have a lot to talk about, really. I was thinking maybe that I might go to the casino tonight. Then it kind of seemed like a little bit of a jaunt down there. Good morning, Jonathan Earl. Good evening, Broccoli Todd, and good afternoon, Mean Bird. Talk about the election. It happened. It's over. Trump won. I think that's probably somewhat less distressing than if Kamala Harris won, but you know, as indicated, they were both incredibly terrible candidates. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's about 45 minutes drive each way. I got some big yawns for little Eric right now. And Scott and Rambo 1546. What you're and EM Trend Big Me. What you're gonna want to try to do is say something original instead of copying and pasting someone else's joke that was never even amusing in the first place. Your total lack of originality is the crime here, not so much the content itself. You know, if you want to respect yourself, don't just copy things you heard from other people and try it. Come up with something original. I don't know what all that ching chang choing is, but I'm sure it's very important. Kai or Speed? Who do you think is more famous internationally? I've never heard of either of them. No, I'm familiar with Mr. Butts and Mr. Hawk as well. Also, Mike, last name Hunt. I'm familiar with first name Mike, last name is everywhere. Uh, I know Anita Dick and Me. I know them all, okay? I've been introduced to every single one of them. That's what Chinese sounds like. So I'm just gonna pull some bong rips, leave it as that. Who would win in a fight, a silverback gorilla or a black bear? I don't know. I don't know why they would be fighting. What does being a man mean to me? You know, having a penis. No, you didn't hear I need a dick in me. You heard of a lady whose first name is Anita and whose last name is Dick in me. One of the many people that introduce themselves around here. You can get all the head you want. I have some hair. I have one kid. Sean says, I'm in a gang and I need out. What should I do? I have no idea. How would I know? I've never been in a gang. I didn't grow up in that kind of neighborhood. Okay. Don't do drugs, chat, says Alton. The crack hitting good. No crack on the menu tonight, I'm afraid. Nope, not YMCA either. I'm not really a joiner. You know, I'm not that into groups. Wow. You know, official cash in Dakota, I don't appreciate your use of what can only be deemed hate speech. So I'm putting you on a timeout, okay? What if I actually were a homosexual? Then I might be hurt. Might have my feelings hurt or something. We've got to respect people's feelings. This is Jack Herrera I'm smoking at the moment, which is a sativa. Cheers. I will couple it with a cup of coffee. Hi, Acacia. How's it going? No, I'm not smoking any political things at all. I'm having an entirely politics-free smoke session. I am, I guess, mildly less disappointed that Trump won than I would have been if Harris had won, but just mildly. I'm 53 years old. How old are you? A yuppie speedball is coffee and weed. Fair enough. I wouldn't consider myself a yuppie, though. I have heard that joke before, but it's a good one. What's the difference between a chickpea and a lentil? I've never had a lentil on my face. Alton says 20. You're 20, I'm 53. Combine them, and we're a 73-year-old man. I don't consider myself a guppy either. Nor do I consider myself Sigma. I consider myself a beta male. What music do I like? I like good music. That's what I like. I don't just like good music. I like great music. The Bible says not to rejoice when our enemies fall, so I'm not going to gloat as someone who's pretty conservative. I don't feel like there's much of anything to gloat about either way. But that's just me. I'm not huge into either. You know, I'm not huge into one of two incredibly shitty candidates winning. To me, that just seems like a biggity bow and a biggity view. So, let me share the good and exciting news with you, everybody. This is going to be some big news, genuinely big news for those of you who've been around the channel before, been around the channel on a reg or anything. You know, there's going to be some big news. You're going to be shocked. You're going to be surprised. You're going to be, I don't know, awakened into a new reality. Guess what I started doing again? Can you guess? Can you guess what Eric started doing today? Is it taking the SAT? No, it is not taking the SAT. I've been quit with this for like 6 months, but I started again today. Because of you, I am alive. Well, thanks, Mr. X. I'm glad that. Doesn't this seem more proper? You know, it's like, isn't this how talking with famous people is supposed to be? So one person says I saved their life. The other person says that they're going to die because of me. I'm not sure who's correct about that. If either of them are correct. I suspect neither of them are correct about that. You happened on my live by accident, huh? Well, welcome, Cone Man. Do I have a favorite movie? My favorite movie that I've seen recently that kind of came to the theaters in the last 5 years is Quiz Lady. I don't know if it went to the theaters, but you know. It was a feature film. Yeah, a lot of people say that, Alton. I don't take any offense. I don't give a fuck how I look. It had Will Ferrell in it, among other people. It had Aquafina in it. Sounds like the neighbors are up to something down there. Chopping wood, maybe. Probably on a fireplace. Yeah. It would appear that is what is happening. He's chopping wood. It is getting cold. Oh, cigarettes for sure. He's okay. Not seen a Will Ferrell movie in years. Old was a great movie. Dead Poet Society is your favorite movie. Well, he wasn't the main character in this movie. He was kind of more of a minor character. But I mentioned his name just to drive home that it wasn't some kind of like obscure indie film or something. It was released only on Hulu, I believe, but this is the world we live in. Ups and downs come with the job. Our life here on Earth is a test to see how we can react to shitty people and good people. Difference makes it worthwhile. Well, that's pretty well said. I don't want to go to the shed. Hi, Ike, OG, Amy, and Ian. OG, Amian. OG, Amian. OG, Amian. Meh, meow. Mia, mo. Well, I'll go back inside the house here after I smoke this cigarette. I don't know if I'm going to stay smoking again for how long, but for right now. You know, I had kind of an intense day today. You could say a bad day today. I still have unprocessed shit from linked to the death of my parents. mostly linked to my dad. And I haven't spent a lot of time mourning. Instead, I've spent a lot of time punishing myself, you know? No, I didn't have a day intense. I am, like Britney Spears says, a knot rats in a tent. And accordingly, you know, I haven't processed those emotions as much as I should have, I think. So today I woke up, I was really mad at Rachel over nothing really, but eventually kind of figured out that I was displacing things, transferring things.
Your soup is ready.
Thanks, darling. Just experienced just like the sadness of it rather than the justice angle. I think that's indicative of T.I. Tool, right? I'm concerned about the justice angle, and so I'm punishing myself up with a bunch of negative self-talk whenever I have memories of what I deem to be my failings as a son in the last year or two of my dad's life. When I have those memories, which tend to be like intrusive as knowledge does, because knowledge isn't something that you take time to think about, right? It's just something that you know instantaneously. So when an intrusive bad memory from the past comes up, it's not something you can really control at all. But my response to it is to punish myself by saying negative self-talk things like, I hate myself, you're a shitty person, whatever. I'm a shitty person, you know. Today I processed it with a proper attentional function, which is emotionally rather than from this kind of justice penance angle. I feel like it helped a lot. Indo says maybe you're still in shock. I mean, I don't know if it's shock or anything. It's just that it's been 2 and some years, and granted, it was a shocking death, but it shouldn't have been. And the key thing is, in the aftermath of the death, I understand so much more clearly what my dad was going through than I did before his death. Because before his death, I was operating on this false and unwarranted understanding that he might live for 10 or 20 years, you know. He shot himself in the head, and, you know, while we were home. So it was a little bit of a shock to the system, and that's okay. It was for him. It was not. It was about self-determination. He wanted to decide when his life no longer had enough value to live. His wife my mom went into hospice care, meaning they had her down to her last 120 days after a long, slow, brutal, you know, collapse into dementia. So my dad had then also like injured himself physically, had gotten COVID really bad. He couldn't see anymore. He couldn't hear anymore. And at some point he decided, you know, that's enough. There's not enough left to live for. I want to call the shots on how I go out, right? And he did, and I don't blame him for that. I think he made the right decision according to his frame of reference. It was obviously dramatic, you know, because you're sitting there with, you know, your dad whose head is gushing blood onto the thing. But we didn't even know he'd shot himself. We just were like, what the fuck's this? What's going on? We heard a loud bang. We went outside. We saw him on the ground with his head cracked open. I think we both kind of figured it was just the sound of him falling or something.
Yeah, we both thought he fell.
Yeah. But it was a crazy day, you know. The thing is, I didn't expect it, but I should have expected it. I should have understood that he gave me plenty of cues that for decades really that he was going to be the decider and executor of his own death. It was not going to be left up to anything else.
Do you think that's why, like when we were going through the medical system, like he didn't want to go to the hospital?
Yeah, well, he said he was scared of hospitals. You know, no, I don't hunt. Uh, yeah, well, it wasn't easy, and the thing is, it's like if he knew the whole time that he had a schedule, that he was going to be wrapping this up about the same time as my mom died. He had said to me at some point he just wanted to stick around till my mom died because he felt like he owed it to her. But you know, I guess once she got put into hospice, he figured whatever. In my mind, he moved up the planned date a week or so, but he was going out that way no matter what. However, if I had also known what he knew, that he was going out at a certain point, then I would have treated the last amount of time differently. But it would have been tricky to convince me not to try to prevent what he wanted to do because that's kind of like the party line on what ought to be done. And he didn't want that to happen.
No.
You know, he had a bunch of do not resuscitate shit up in the house. These documents said do not resuscitate. What, of course, is the first thing I attempt to do after he shoots himself? And he told me very directly, do not resuscitate to me as well. That's the first thing I try to do. I try to resuscitate him because I don't really know what resuscitate meant. You know, I didn't know that if you push on the chest and shit that's resuscitate.
We thought we were in like a state of panic, like, and I was giving you instruction of what to do from the 911 call.
Yeah, well, we didn't know what to do, obviously. But so today was directed towards processing some of that guilt that I have. But I kind of understand now how I was double bound. I couldn't I couldn't manage that period of time that I had left with him because I didn't know I had that period of time left with him.
No.
He could manage it because he did know. When did this happen? Um, 2022, August 22. It is now November 24.
I feel like it was like a sequence of events that like happened, like.
Yeah, it was a sequence of events. But the sequence of events just determined the schedule
Yeah.
somewhat. It's
Yeah.
like he was going to go out after my mom died that way anyway. You know, I think in his dream, he would have retained good health and a high quality of life long enough to have seen my mom die, bury her, and then do that. I did not vote. Hi, Marcus Aurelius. So, you know, what is that beard thing? It's this. You mean this is not a beard thing? This is just a little pick that I use to scratch myself, to pick at the bong. I do lots of different things with this little pick. So I don't know if that's really all. No, he had planned it for decades, Marcus Aurelius. That's the thing about it is he had told me for decades that he knew that when it was time for him to go out, he was going out, you know, via a firearm.
Did he say that exactly, or did he just say like on his own terms?
I mean, he might have said something like, you know, when it comes time for it, he might have done something like that. I don't remember exactly, but he informed me of it throughout the years multiple times. But I never, it was the way he wanted to go. He wanted to go out on his own terms when his life ceased to have adequate meaning. He did not want to be in a hospital. Number
Yeah.
one thing is he did not want to be in a hospital.
Yeah. And like considering everything in his like physical condition, like they were trying to send him to the hospital, so he did do what he wanted.
Oh yeah. I tried putting so many other things in the cup before it took off. Cup of beans, cup of salad.
Yeah, a cup of salad.
No, because I didn't take him seriously for some reason.
I didn't
Like
either.
it seemed to me he was talking about an abstract idea rather than an event that he'd actually ever execute. I wasn't being realistic about time frames. In my mind, I had an indeterminate amount of time left with my dad. 10 years, 20 years, who knew? I agree with Citrus Call. People should be able to leave their own way, but putting your family through that is a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is it putting your family through less than what my dad did?
I don't know.
I mean, do you want to know? That's a tough call. My dad didn't like it when I beat him on shit. No, I'm not an MBTI expert, but I am an expert on personality type and cognitive functions because MBTI is bullshit, more or less. Lots of things about it are.
I felt it like both times. Like, I mean, even though like your mom passed away differently, like I still felt it because like you said, like it's just
There's the SI6 Hero Lamb. I'm not dwelling on something, right? I don't think so, TYP. Um, I had a problem emerge. That problem is intrusive memories triggered by associations that remind me of things about my dad, especially, that I could have and should have done better during the last years of his life. Stuff I feel guilt about. But instead of experiencing the guilt as sadness, I I it was I hadn't experienced the guilt as sadness. I was experiencing the guilt as a cue to self-flagellate, which is to say words like "I'm a shitty person," "I hate myself," things like that. Um, but it wasn't until today, really. It may have happened in the past. I don't know, but not in the sense that it did today, where I really just got very sad about the whole thing. It was an odd process because I'm bipolar. First, I got mad at Rachel for not wanting to play a card game with me last night. Like way madder than would make any sense, right? And then as we had to go to town to get our medications, and then eventually on the way back, I kind of figured out that I was doing one of those psychoanalyst kind of things where I used to play poker like when we went to Mammoth with my dad, and at the same time, it's the sort of thing I didn't do with my dad at the end of his life, right? So Rachel was kind of a stand-in for me, and I was kind of a stand-in for my dad. I got angry at her for my own failures in some kind of weird symbol way. And then eventually figured out that I wasn't actually angry at Rachel. I started to figure out that I wasn't actually angry at Rachel because at some point I was like, wait a second, I'm clearly way overreacting to this situation. There's no possible reason for me to be this mad about her not wanting to play cards with me last night. So uh, it made me cry a lot, etc. Thanks, Endo. Yeah, well, I think I just had to cry it out and understand it emotionally. Keep this thought handy when you feel a fit of rage coming on. It isn't manly to be enraged, rather, gentleness and stability are more human and therefore manlier. I'm not especially interested in being manly. Philip Mahole says, "What's up?" Not much. We're talking about some kind of dark shit at the moment, which is not normally this heavy of an activity around here. You know, I really got to talk things out. Nothing counts as having happened unless it gets live streamed about. What's this? The Inbred Redneck Show? Well, I'm not inbred, and I think you'd have to have a very broad definition of redneck to say I qualify as one. Again, Marcus, I wonder what this primacy of a value of being a real man comes from. Because I don't know if you're aware of this, but I'm a very, very, very special lady.
Mm-hmm. It's true, Keisha.
No, I wouldn't be pissed, Joe Media, if I won the popular vote but not the presidency, because I'd be amazed that I had actually succeeded that much in politics. Cathartic cries can be really helpful. I agree, Acacia. Thing is, you can't manufacture your way into a cathartic cry. You've got to actually feel the catharsis and it induce the tears.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, as usual, emotions made me two things: horny and sleepy. So we took a look at care of those two things, and at the end of um, my nap, I got up, felt a little revived, you know. I didn't cry by myself. I cried with Rachel.
Yeah. It was emotional for both of us.
That's what you need a relationship partner for, is to be able to experience those authentic emotional moments with somebody else. Kind of like what trust is, I guess.
No, it doesn't make me. The fact that Gatsby's probably an INFJ makes me sad because it's a sad story. You being happy about him being an INFJ, it doesn't make me sad.
There's no solvency for emotions except feeling the truth of them. You know, you have to sit with them, quote unquote. You got to feel your way through them.
Yeah.
You're trying to project solvency as an absolute value, and the experience of emotion is fundamentally therefore inferior or bad. But that's not true. That's how you get to be emotionally retentive.
He is an iconic character, and like I'm clearly interested in the book. I've been obsessed for years now. It's just that his story is kind of tragic, and confusing too, because it's like it's supposed to be romantic, but at the same time he's like kind of obsessed with status and money, and you don't know why, if that's why he does all those romantic things, is because like Daisy is represents wealth to him and saw her as a way of gaining wealth, because he was a criminal. He was a bootlegger during the Roaring Twenties, so thanks. Thanks, Show Media. Fitzgerald said that the character of both characters of Nick Carraway and of Jay Gatsby, how were taken from his own life, taken from his personality. So, which is interesting because Nick Carraway is such a unreliable narrator. What is massage refracted and message bastard? Message diffractor. Oh, message retracted star. I see it. I see it now. I need to drink something else besides this coffee. It's so strong. It's so bitter. Hey, Karma's Pimp. Long time no see. No show media. No, there's no right or wrong way to react when someone's grieving. The best thing that you can do is just let them express themselves.
You know what I want to do, Rachel?
What do you want to do?
I want to measure our driveway and see how many yards it is,
Really?
or meters.
Okay.
And then I can run the dash for that distance and compare myself against world-class sprinters.
I like that. I like that idea. You could work yourself up to the Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys heard, but Eric wants to be. Are you gonna work on your speed walking?
No, I think I'm gonna let's say the driveway is 40 yards. Well, they have a 40-yard time for the NFL. Like a blazing fast 40-yard time would be 4.1 seconds. So I would see how close to 4.1 seconds I could get. You'd have to stand there with your stopwatch and right in the line of finish, and then I'd line up at the other line. You'd say go, and then I'd run all the way to the line of finish, and you push the stopwatch stop, and so see how long it is.
I like that. I like that idea. I think you'll win. I think you'll win it.
I bet you that I'm faster than the world record holder.
Mason Anime says, thank you, Keisha. Where did he say? Mason Anime says, hi, I'm sorry I have been gone for a while. Work has been crazy.
Cool. You got nothing to be sorry about.
No, in fact, Eric really understands how busy it can get for anyone who works on anime.
Yeah, apparently they got you on these kind of murderous schedules. Now, what I want to do is a little something called measure my driveway.
Am I going out with you?
If you want to.
Yeah, let me get my jacket.
I've not yet purchased a hobby horse, no. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna measure like the reasonable path. All right, not clean straight around the edge, but the most reasonable path.
He's doing it, folks. He's measuring. Yeah, he's literally measuring the driveway.
Uh-oh. I just have to get a flashlight.
He's measuring the driveway to see how long it is so that he could practice running.
Yeah. I've been watching some YouTube videos about running.
Yeah, he's been watching YouTube videos about running. Yeah, it is cool. Eric gets inspired by what he watches. When I don't get a lot of sleep, I feel like I'm losing my mind. I literally do lose my mind. Circus Cult says, first time here, but looking forward to watching the personality vids. Not watched stuff like that in a while. Cool.
Yeah. This is 50 feet to here.
50 feet to there?
To this line right here.
Okay.
Alright. So, can you stand here, hold this?
Yes.
Put it to this line?
Yeah.
To this line? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now can you walk that way?
Which way? This way?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me when to stop.
Alright. And then stop. You go a little bit further? Okay. Now, that's 100 feet. Stay where you are. Okay. Now walk that way.
Up.
Yeah, up. Walk a little further. Okay, that's 150 feet. Stay there. Now let's stay from. We walk up to the end of the street.
The end of the street? Like to the top of the like.
Right where the end of the road is. Okay. Feet. 185 feet.
Wow.
Okay, so you let go of that. And it went down. What's that?
Oh, I'm just saying that I dropped it.
Well, you know what? We could measure the distance to the street between the driveways too.
True. Do you want me to get the camera on that?
Well, how many yards is 185 feet?
Oh, I don't know.
185 feet is 60 yards. Wait, we had 150 plus 35, 185 feet. 185 feet is how many yards?
Do you want me to figure it out on my phone?
Well, let's see. It should be 61 2/3 yards. All right, I think you know what that means. We are going to have to measure the streets.
Okay.
And we could have a perfect 100 yards, you know.
We could.
Wouldn't that be sweet?
That would be sweet.
As long as we start and stop at the same spot, then there's not even any elevation gain.
No.
Okay. I don't know if we're going to be able to go much further away than this. I'm going to give Rachel the flashlight.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Rachel the flashlight. She's going to start by holding this, and I'm going to undo it. Pull. Here. Okay, now come walk to me. we did 2 fulls up there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Well, guess what? You didn't just stare at that empty piece of dirt for nothing. You were waiting for the exciting news. 308.5 feet. Which sounds like, I don't know exactly what the metric yards. It's 102, almost 3 yards. 308.5 feet. Let me find out. My attempt to set the 100-meter world record. Attempt 23.
Attempt 23. That would make for a good short, though.
Mm-hmm. Now I just need to look at the computer. I need to do some computing. And then I will be able to tell you how many meters 308.5 feet is. Give or take an inch. Give or take an inch. $308.5 feet. All right, let's look on the computer Dora. Oh, that's fewer than 100 meters. How many yards is it? It's a yard's 3 feet, right? 308.5 feet into yards. It's 102 yards. So, we now have to Google this question. What's the world record for the 100-yard dash? Hundred-yard dash. 9.4 seconds. The women's 100-yard dash record is 9.91 seconds, set on May 31st, 2011. The fact that the 100-yard dash record is 9.4 seconds, set by Jesse Owens in 1935, suggests they don't run the 100-yard dash that much anymore. Go away, Wikipedia want money thing. Because if I can beat 10 seconds, then I'll be pretty good. How many of you think I can beat 10 seconds running around my 100-yard dash track? Keeping in mind that I'm not going to have starting blocks. I'm not going to have starting blocks, and it's also the case, just to be fair, that I probably am altitude aided at 4,000 feet. So it may not count as an official record. Also, it's not flat, but it is a net elevation gain of 0. Okay, it goes around my driveway. It starts and ends at the same place. Jacob, I don't personally believe that. No. I do believe that there was some shenanigans going on inside Jobish stuff, but I can't establish that for sure. All right. $108.5 feet in meters. It doesn't seem that hard. Well, it's just 33 meters. Oh no, I'm sorry. 308 feet. My bad. 308 feet. 308. No. 308.5. It's actually 94 meters. So you were not that close, but you weren't super far away. I don't know if that's satisfying to you or not. Anyhow, well, I think that I could probably beat the world record for the 100-yard dash right now. All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to get, it's not that late at night. I'm going to get my shoes on, my running shoes, and you guys are going to time me, okay? So I'm going to go around the driveway. When I say go or when I leave, you start your stopwatches, okay? And then when you see me again, you stop your stopwatches. It's not going to be, it's not timing that's going to be exact enough to prove that I set a world record, but we'll see how close I get. It doesn't seem like it should take more than about 10 seconds to run around the driveway. We'll find out. Also, this isn't an official sanctioned 100-yard dash track, but it is 100 yards approx with a net elevation gain of 0. It's about as good as you can get. I've got my Adidas running shoes on. And now I'm ready to set a world record. All right. Everybody should be singing Eye of the Tiger right now. Rising up. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. All right. So I'm going to put this way, okay? So you can see this white line. Now you can time it. You can time it at the beginning of the thing, when I cross the beginning, or you can time it when I'm all the way across the end of the thing. Either way you want to do it, it's up to you. We'll see how this goes. All right. So, I put these down. I'm going to give myself a bit of a running start, small advantage over the official track and field people, but I'm not going to give myself a full running start. So you start when you see me across the thing. I'm going to start running now. Well, what was my time? I could definitely do faster than that because I had to slow down in the dark on the street. And also my left calf kind of hurts.
Oh, you did a run?
22 seconds, huh? 21:54. Well, I'd say that's very close to world-class
I
time.
think so too.
I'm just a mere 10 seconds off of world-class time.
World class time.
I bet you in the daytime, I don't have to worry about tripping on the road.
No.
I'll cut 3 seconds off at the least.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Sean.
You did it.
I did. Well, now I can see if I can do better than that. Grandma, the sane Arborkins. Hello.
May I have the weed, please?
Sure.
Thanks.
No, I don't need to call it EMS. It is the case that if I wanted to be less easily winded, I would do that a lot more often. But you know, sometimes I just gotta be me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was an incline, but there's also a decline. So it's a net elevation gain of 0. However, the slope on either side isn't the same. So I might get different results going the other direction. Yeah, I'm just catching my breath from running the 100-yard dash. I did try to run it as fast as I could, you know.
Go you. May I have the lighter?
Sure.
Thanks.
And I do have a lot of big feet, that's true. I'm sorry, that's not fair. Sasquatches. How did I waste my life? I don't feel like I wasted my life. Right, well, the point is, it has a net elevation gain of 0, but it might be easier one way or the other. It might be harder either way than a flat track, it's hard to say. Thanks, G. Thanks for the advice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that I know my circle driveway is basically 100 yards, then I might do that more often. Now that I know what my average time is.
Yeah.
Parliament Pimp, G, you know what I would say to that? Why yada? That's what I would say to that. Power what you want, not what you don't want. I'm not sure what that means.
I'm not sure what that means either. You did what you wanted to.
It's true. Well, I don't know what I got going on now. Maybe end this stream fairly shortly. Not that like there's anything else to do. Don't focus on the negative, focus on the good. I guess that's what they meant. That's what who meant. How long can a person live on peanut butter toast? Probably quite some time. You're not going to get any vitamin C, probably. Obviously, you're not going to get a lot of green vegetables. I have to say I feel kind of relieved to I started smoking again today. Stop dreaming about it. I can stop being annoyed by vapes every time I hit them. Because I won't hit them anymore. Obviously, in an ideal world, I wouldn't go back to full blast smoking. I'd use the vapes to take breaks and stuff. We'll see how it plays out. But for today, anyway, something of a return to normalcy. Which today feels like in general, you know. I measured the driveway, I did the 100-yard dash in a sprightly 20 seconds. Keeping in mind, my 100-yard dash has to curve around corners too. How long did I go without smoking? Since the end of April. May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months. Yeah, it's been a busy day. It's been an emotional day. I can't tell if I'm tired still. Probably I am, but I don't feel particularly tired. Kind of feel like going and doing stuff. Kind of feel like going to bed. How long have I been live? Like an hour and 15 minutes. which is obviously a short live stream, but I'm not on any amphetamines. So that tends to make for a much shorter live stream. Coffee doesn't really do a whole lot to me. If I drink too much of it, it might make me nauseous. That's about it. Can you share one of your most unforgettable memories? You look tired. It's been a tiring day. You know, I always come up with the same one. It's a little dark, so a more positive one would be the time I gave a deposition in front of the city of Pomona and this guy's attorney who had been, or a guy representing the guy's attorney. And the guy had been over-tased. Scream cheese. Why do covers of songs get copyrighted? Well, because publishing rights, publishing rights include covers. Whereas rights to the recording are different. I've got such a ache in the calf now. That's okay. I'm this close to setting a new world record. Hi. So I just need to shave 10 or so seconds off of my time. I should be able to do that no problem. It's 20 cigarettes to a pack. It's about $11 where I live. Different things copyright differently depending on how fussy the copyright owner is. Oh, God.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm feeling kind of tired, I guess.
Yeah, me too.
See you, Circus Cult.
Bye, Circus Cult. Nice chatting with you.
I'm about ready to wrap it up. All right, good night, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Good night.
Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.